Hey guys, today I wanted to do a quick video and show you where to make the incisions on a mountain lion. Contrary to popular belief, there is not more than one way to skin a cat. I don't do rugs here, so for me this is the only way to skin one, and I'm going to go over those incisions with you right now. So the first thing we would do, and there's a couple things that are optional about this, like splitting the tail. When you're skinning the lion, you don't necessarily have to split the tail. You can leave the tail bone and meat in the skin if you want and freeze it and ship it to me that way. But if you want to skin the tail out, you can go right down the center of the underneath side of the tail all the way to the end of the bone. And then, you just peel the skin off the tail the whole way down. I don't connect that incision to the incision that go out the legs and up the belly. And I try to stay to the side of the genitals when I make those incisions. We don't want to split right through all that. That kind of makes it a little bit more tricky to sew after the fact. So what I would do is I would come down here. I'm just going to pop this tail off so that's not in the way. So if this was the toe pad right here, or the foot pad, we'll start right at the back of that and come right down the back to the heel, and then straight up the back edge of the leg, the whole way, right between the two black spots. We're going to stay right here in no man's land. Around the back, and then you can either start back down here at the other pad and come down the back of this leg all the way till those connect. And then rather than splitting straight up the center through all this, we want to stay between, and then we want to go around the side. And then as soon as we go around the side, we're going to get right back on the center line, and we're going to come right up the center of the belly, okay? Up the center of the belly till we get right here to the center of the chest. If you're unsure exactly where those lines are going to connect, you can stop a little early. And then we're going to come down just like on the back legs. We're going to come from the back edge of the pad, and we're going to stay right up the back edge of the leg where the brown and the white hair meet. Same thing as on the back, until we get to its elbow. Once we're at its elbow, then we're going to kind of go, so your brown and white hair would kind of run up the back of the leg like this. We're going to kind of go across to the center of the chest, and then the same thing on this side. Right up the back of the leg to the elbow, and then kind of across, a little bit, almost in the halfway point from the back to the front edge of that leg, and right across to the center. We do not need to make an incision all the way up to his chin. You're just adding an extra seam that is unnecessary if you do that. So this is all you really need, is to come right across the chest right here. If you want, you can leave a wee little notch in the front of the chest right there where we know all those three incisions meet. That's up to you. I can figure it out without that, but it does help a little bit for lining things up. And that's basically the only incisions you need to make. I have guys sometimes that will, either their outfitter or another taxidermist recommends doing like a dorsal incision, which is up the back. Don't do that. Please don't do that. We could have a discussion about that, but that's really, really not the right way of skinning a cat. That's just not the right way of doing it. So that's all you really need to do as far as your incisions. Peel the skin off. Try to keep as little of the fat and meat on there as possible. When you get the hide peeled back, you can just sever the joint right here, leave the foot in the skin. The same thing with the front legs. And then you can sever the neck right there at the base of the head and leave the head in the skin. And that's really all you need to do. A couple notes for after it's skinned, you want to try to get all the heat out of that skin. So areas where the feet, the tail, the head have the meat still in the hide, you want to kind of just stretch that out and let it get cooled down before, you know, folding it up. I'm going to do another video on how to handle the hide and ship it to me once it's skinned. After it's been skinned, we want to lay it out and we want to let it get cooled down. So I know when you're on the hunt, sometimes that might not be the perfect scenario. It's late, whatever, you got to get back to camp. So just get it skinned out and get to where you need to go. Once you're back to camp, you really want to lay it out, skin side up, and let that get cooled down. You want that hide really cooled down. The head, the feet, the tail, they're going to hold a lot of heat because they still have the meat in them. So we want to let that get cooled down. You know, you can kind of roll his head up like this and open the skin up and let that all get cooled down good. After it's been cooled down for, I'd say maybe an hour, depending on what temperature you're dealing with, we're going to fold it up. So after it's cooled, we're basically going to lay it and look at it like it was standing there in the side profile, and we're going to put it skin to skin. The reason we want to do skin to skin, we want to try to keep that blood and fat and whatever is on that skin from getting in the hair. So skin to skin the whole way, just line it all up. Okay, so now we got that. Now, this one's still got the tailbone in it. That's optional to skin the tailbone out or leave it in. This one's in, so we'll just fold that like that, and the feet here. Okay. Actually, leave the tail out, wrap it around the outside. Fold the feet in, the head in. Now this head is a little bit frozen still, so it's not gonna pack in as tight of a spot as it normally would. And then that's how we're gonna roll it up. Now we can freeze it from here. A couple things to note. A lot of times your outfitter will put the skin in a game bag, you know, just like a fabric mesh bag, and that's fine for transporting it out of the woods. When you get to where you're going to freeze it, you can leave it in the game bag, but be sure to put it in an airtight garbage bag. Air is your enemy in a freezer. It will basically freeze dry the lips and the ears, the toes. Any of the small parts are going to want to get like really dried out really quick. So even if it's only going to be in the freezer for a week, you're going to want to put it in a garbage bag. So that's the next step. The other reason that I like to roll everything to the inside, if you're putting it to where the claws and the teeth and everything have at least one layer of skin on the outside of them, that keeps them from poking holes in your bag, which also, if there's holes in the bag, air is going to get in and then things will get dried out. So we slide this in a garbage bag. We're going to squeeze all the air out. And then I would put it in an extra garbage bag, okay? And then this is something that's pretty handy to ship to me. You can see this one, they wrote my name and address on it. Usually they just put a sticker on it when you take it to ship it anyhow. But this is a 28 cooler, a 28 quart cooler from Igloo. They sell them at Walmart, Dollar Generals, and they typically range from like $20 to $30. This is like perfect size to ship a mountain lion, or even a small to medium size black bear will fit in there. Fits right down inside of there. And what I would do, ideally, what you would do is put it in the freezer or outside where it can freeze, just like this, with the lid up. Then you know it fits in the cooler. If you freeze it loose, it probably won't fit in a cooler this size. Just something to keep in mind. So you let it freeze, close the cooler, duct tape around the cooler, around the edge. You know, then if it would happen to thaw out, you're not leaking blood when it's shipping. You know, that's kind of like one of the biggest concerns, is we don't want it leaking blood when it's shipped. So that's why you would double or triple bag it. Then in the cooler, tape. You can ship it UPS, FedEx, UPS to me. And in the winter months, second day service is fine. You don't want to ship it like a 3-day select or anything like that, because they're not necessarily guaranteed for 3 days. So you want to do either next day or second day service, because those are guaranteed usually. So any of your, you know, like I said, USPS, UPS, FedEx, that will get it here just fine. So there's another option if you don't have a cooler accessible. A lot of guys will they'll buy the cooler and take it on their hunt with them. That way they're prepared if they kill one. They can bring it back that way with them. A lot of times they'll fly them back on the plane, and then they'll ship them from home. A lot of times they just leave them with the outfitter. Some of my outfitters that ship to me regularly, they actually keep these coolers in stock, and they'll just ship them directly to me from them, without the client ever taking them home. So the other option would be to just put your mountain lion in a cardboard box. You can freeze it and ship it in a cardboard box by itself. Ideally, if you were going to use a cardboard box, you would get some styrofoam board, like house insulation, maybe like a soft cooler bag, and put inside of the styrofoam or the cardboard box. Duct tape it up tape it up really well, and you can ship it to me that way. Same thing, don't do more than a 2-day service. Okay guys, hopefully this video helped you out preparing for your next hunt. If you have any questions, you can get a hold of me at 717-816-9776, or you can email at animalswildllc@gmail.com.